Hi everyone and welcome. It's Elizabeth and I'm going to be continuing on with a reading for the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial. So this is part 4 in my series and today is Friday, May 6th. So they wrapped up on Thursday the 5th and went on their break. So we all have a week off from this sort of to process, because I don't know about you, but I have absolutely had to process all of this information. It was a lot. It is a lot. And so for anyone who's clicking on this video, if you've been following this case and this trial, some of you have been following this for years. Admittedly, I haven't, but I have absolutely been called to this situation, this trial, this story. It's somewhere that I feel very guided to and guided to talk about. So that's why I'm doing this. So welcome back if you're returning, welcome new subscribers, and welcome just to anyone who may be clicking on this. So I'm burning a bit of sage because I want to bless this space. So here in this community, we call in divine energies, higher energies of love and truth, pure unconditional love, all of that. So this really is a space for healing. As far as your comments, I've really appreciated the dialogue, all of your comments. Just the interaction has been really wonderful. So let's keep it high vibe. I'm also welcoming in people who may have differing opinions and views. You know, as long as we are kind to one another, we hold space for one another's viewpoints, then I am totally good with that. I do have my own beliefs and opinions around this. I have to tell you, I was absolutely questioning myself, questioning what I believe to be true about this. It's been very confusing, very all over the place. And that's why I didn't want to just like jump on every day or, you know, jump on when I'm not quite ready. I have to let the energy settle within myself first so that I feel confident enough to pull you cards and speak properly to the messages. So that's why I've taken a few days off from this because it has been a lot. So let's get into it. I'm going to read for Amber's energy, for her testimony specifically. So I think that that's like, for many people, we want to know what was that, you know, and it's so multi-layered that I'm sure we will only scratch the surface here, but I will do my best to do that for all of you, to gain some clarity, perhaps get some answers. Obviously, nothing is set in stone right now. The energies are always changing. She still has to finish her testimony and be cross-examined, and then her side needs to call all of their witnesses. So it's going to be interesting to watch all of this shape up. So I hope that you're all well. I hope that you are healthy. I hope that you are happy. And let's get started. So I'm using the Rider-Waite. I have the Morgan Greer pocket size to clarify with. And I also pulled out the Celestial Tarot. I do have reversals in this deck. So we'll see if any reversals come out. And I think that that'll be a good tool to clarify with. So as always, I call in the divine with love and with light. And let's call in the archangels at the four corners of the world. The elements, earth, air, fire, water, spirit, and ether to join us. And let's call in the guides, ascended masters, and the galactic beings of the highest level light. I live in Sedona, so we are very close to the galactic energies here. So all right, so thank you to the guides. Thank you, Spirit. So let's look at Amber Heard's testimony here, and let's just get an overall energy for it. We'll start off with an overall energy for her testimony so far. Please give us a clear and concise message regarding Amber's testimony that we have heard so far. And I have my window wide open. It's sort of, we're in between that season of no heat, no air conditioning. So if it's a bit noisy outside, I know Sedona can get noisy, believe it or not. All right, so fighting the fight here, overall energy of her testimony. This came out for Johnny Depp's reading a few days ago. This is a card of valor and courage. So it's, you know, taken a lot of chutzpah to get up there and do what she's doing, right? But she has to, in a sense, with the death card. And strength. I mean, that's pretty powerful here, you know. I think that kind of says it all. This is just the overall energy of her testimony. She's really trying to obviously transform the way that she's being perceived, because I think she is very aware that the public opinion has been sort of swayed in the other direction, whereas prior to this trial, she did have a lot of supporters. She still does have a lot of support. I don't watch corporate media, but I am under the impression that a lot of the corporate media is definitely telling her side of the story, and may even be, you know, promoting it. So in any event, here she is, the strength, right? Because we see strength here, the strength, the courage, the valor. She's in this fight. She wants to put an end to the whole situation. So she's really, it's a painful ending. That's death, painful, but necessary ending. Scorpio. So this is where, with Scorpio energy, where the stuff comes up out of the swamp. Scorpio is a water sign, and for me, that water, it's like the depths of the water. It's like, you know, you have to take a submarine to get down into the depths of this water. So it's really dark. So it's dredging all of that up. And with strength, yes, this is 2 major arcanas here. The 7 is her spiritual test and challenge, and she's absolutely coming here to fight for her side of this. And with the strength card, this is probably the biggest obstacle that she's overcome in her life so far. Excuse me. So let's see what else we have. Let's break down the testimony and see where we go with this. So, all right, I'm going to use acronyms or whatever you want to call them. I'm not going to say all of the words because I know YouTube censors a lot of these things. So what we want to know is, to the best of our ability, the validity of what she's saying. So we're going to sort of break it down, what she is claiming, her claims, and inside of her testimony. So I guess let's just start with a simple question. It's one of the things that I really do believe her on when she talks about the love that she felt for him. I do believe that that was real for her. You may feel differently. And let's see what comes out. Wow, we get the 2 9s here. So this is sort of how she, when I was asking about how she sort of felt about him, you know, when she was talking about how they fell in love, all of that. So it's interesting because it's the 2 9s. It's not the 10 of Cups. It's not the 10 of Pentacles. It's the 9 of Cups with the 9 of Pentacles. So yes, there was absolutely an emotional connection. There was even a physical connection with the 9 of Pentacles. This was a very luxurious relationship. All the things she talked about, it was very sensual, because this is where we connect to our senses inside of the physical world. It's, you know, all of the food and the luxury, and like it's very sensual and even sexy, especially for a Taurus, because she is a Taurus. So it really enlivened her life. It made her feel very beautiful. Like she was saying, she felt beautiful. There was obviously this emotional connection. The Cups energy is the heart space. It was a wish come true. Like she was saying, it was a dream come true for her. What's interesting about the 9 of Cups, in its sort of lower vibration, so I'm sort of telling you about the higher vibration, it's contentment, it's love, it's a wish come true, a dream come true. In the lower octave, this can be where, what's behind the curtain there? You know, it's sort of that energy of like, you're not quite seeing everything. There's more. There's more to it than what you're seeing. So if you peel back the curtain, what would you find back there? There may be different types of intentions. There may be insecurities. There may be, you know, it's something that potentially the person is hiding. And this can even speak to a sort of selfishness, especially coming out with the 9 of Pentacles, because she is the lady with the house up on the hill. She, you know, is the woman who is very independent and, you know, loves luxury and all of those things. Not that there's anything wrong with that. So we're looking at like the higher octave of these things and the lower octave of these things. So this is, you know, this is how she felt when she met him. And since those fell out, let's get a few more clarifiers for this. Okay, yes. she definitely wanted to marry him, and she did. So that was perhaps a goal for her. This is what was on her mind, in her heart, was commitment, was, you know, with the Hierophant there. Another earth energy. This is a card of Taurus. So, and she is a Taurus. So she was looking at it more traditionally, like that she could find stability here, the traditional things, the traditional marriage, the house together, you know, all of that. That was something that she saw in him as a partner. And the Three of Pentacles. So it's funny because a lot of it goes back to this Pentacles energy. So she may, you know, have seen where he could help her inside of her career, because she's showing up in the beginning of the relationship with the 9 Pentacles. So it means that she was well on her way. You know, she was doing well for herself. She was, you know, feeling good about herself. This is about your self-worth. So she was feeling pretty good about herself. The Three of Pentacles is where you sort of like, you work with other people. It's your networks. It's the people that you work with. It's like contracts and things like that. And this is how you leverage your wealth. This is how you leverage your social status. This is how you level up. So she was seeing him, you know, as a tool, as a way to level up inside of her career, her worth, you know, all of that. And let's get one last one. Yeah, she was, wow. All right, so you can't make this up. I'm just reading the cards, you guys. So yes, she was seeing this as absolutely an opportunity, you know, an opportunity for financial gain, 100%. There's just no denying it. Bottom of the deck, we get the World. So, you know, they did travel the world, right? And also, this is like, this is the end. It's the end of the major arcana. So she did see him, you know, as someone that she would spend a long time with. I think also because the World indicates, it's like hard-earned victory. It's not an easy task to get to this card. It's not easy. It's not like it's just handed to you. So I feel that she knew there were going to be tests and challenges, because it's at the bottom. Like, she wasn't stupid here. You know, she knew that it wasn't going to be easy. Okay, so that's something that I'm seeing here. High Priestess, she knew, okay, she knew that that this was going to test her, because it's Saturn. In the corner of these cards, you see all of the fixed signs. So we get Leo, Taurus, she's a Taurus, right? He's a Leo ascendant. We get Scorpio, and we get Aquarius. So all of the fixed signs. So it's stubborn, you know, it's a stubborn energy. It's not super flowy. It's not like all easy peasy. These are the hard-earned lessons, hard-earned victory. And it's Saturn. And Saturn is like the father. He's the strict father. He makes us do the work. So she knew that this was going to be a commitment with the Hierophant. There was going to be a lot of tests and challenges, but she felt it was going to bring her victory. And we get the the High Priestess here. So there's some secrets, you know, things that she wasn't revealing. You know, she had motives that she wasn't necessarily revealing. And even if she did, I feel like it was probably things, and this is just my intuition and my channeling, that he was very happy to help her with, because the Three of Pentacles indicates that there's cooperation, it's teamwork, it's collaboration. So I think she already had an indication that, yes, you know, this was things that he was going to help her with, okay? Lots of Pentacles here. Very, very 3D. And for those of you who kind of watch my channel or understand these terms, it's not, you know, the Hierophant can be very spiritual. It's sitting right in the center here. So this is a spiritual energy because he's a priest. So it's connected to knowledge, wisdom, and God. So there is, but I think she's an atheist, and so is he, or at least agnostic. So anyway, it just feels very 3D here. It doesn't feel like it's a super spiritual energy. So, all right, when I open the deck, I see the Devil with the Seven of Swords. So I feel like here's where we're going to get into some of the harder subjects. And we're going to look at her allegations against him. So I do want to say that regardless of what comes out and regardless of what the messages are and the channelings are, I in no way, shape, or form condone any violence against anyone. Children, women, men, animals, you know, anything. So I really want to say that. And I also hold space for people's mental health. So if this is something that may trigger you, you know, you may not want to watch this. And again, I'm going to read the cards. So regarding the allegations, regarding just the sort of emotional and verbal aspects of those allegations, I'm not going to say the words because I don't want to get in trouble with the YouTube commanders. So regarding like the emotional and verbal stuff, I want to almost say, let's start with like the jealousy that she was describing. I recognize that in relationships, especially with people like them, there's going to be all kinds of more intense energies. Even if you look at their astrology, it's a very, very intense, you guys. Their synastry is very intense. So there's going to be a very intense energy between them regardless. So a healthy dose of jealousy, is that possible? And control. But I'm talking about this obsessive, you know, the Empress wanted to pop out, you know, this obsessive where it becomes, you know, where it becomes a problem. The word that starts with an A, where it becomes a problem. So anyway, let's look at that, this sort of jealousy and control that her side was describing. Please talk to me about that. Was that accurate? Was that valid? Was that true? Okay, so I am going to take this jumper and then we'll move on from there. So we get the Ace of Cups with the Knight of Wands, the Three of Cups. Now here's where the Cups energy comes in, and this can indicate, you know, alcohol and substances and things like that. And here's the Queen of Cups. Wow. And the Nine of Swords. Okay. So the Knight of Wands is going to represent Johnny here because he's a Gemini, and the opposite sign of Gemini is Sagittarius, and he feels a bit like a Sag to me. There's just something about his energy that feels Sagittarius-like. She will represent the Queen of Cups here in this situation, so she's holding the cup, she's holding the emotion. Bottom of the deck is the Ace of Swords, so that's really interesting, okay? And we're ending with the Swords energy where there is a lot of regret. Now, this is regarding the jealousy and the control. The Knight of Wands, he can be a bit immature. In his higher vibration, he's adventurous, passionate, creative. He's the guy that wants adventure. I feel like that is something that she was talking about with him. I feel that there maybe is this energy of, am I exciting enough for him, or am I too boring? That's something that I'm feeling from this. This guy loves an adventure. He's social. He loves having the party. He has a lot of friends. And that was something that seemed to really bother her a lot in the audio recordings about him being with his friends all the time. This feels like here would be maybe her friends. The cup is over here. So this is all about love, you know, and the cup spilling over. The Queen of Cups is holding the love, but then there's like regret here. So, and worry and anxiety. So I'm feeling like, because this is on her side, it actually feels like there were many nights and perhaps many days where she felt worried that she was going to lose him, because this guy, the Knight of Wands, he's in and out. He's this is Sagittarian energy, so he's a traveler. I mean, look at him. He's like ready to go. He's like looking right at you here, you know, like, hey, where are we going? So I think that it's interesting because it almost feels reversed. It almost feels like that, first of all, she felt like she had to kind of party or be this fun girl, which I think to some degree she is. The life of the party in order for her to be worthy of him. And I'm feeling like here, it's where she spent a lot of time being stressed out and anxious and worried if she was going to lose him, if he would take off and not come back, if he would go in search of a new cup, perhaps a third party. So it's weird because I'm feeling that it's almost the reverse. At the bottom of the deck is the Ace of Swords. And so this is where we communicate. This is where there's healthy communication, clear communication. And it's sort of in the shadow there. So I'm not sure that this is something that she even had clarity around. We're going to ask again. And then the Four of Swords underneath that, which is recovery. It's actually recovery. He's got to like sleep this off. So with this Nine of Swords about staying up all night, not being able to sleep, I think it's been said that she was suffered from insomnia at times. Her love for him here, this is very deep. It's very emotional. When this is out of balance, the emotions are not, there's no maturity around these emotions because it's coming out with the Three of Cups. This is sort of, this queen struggles to understand her own emotions, to understand how she's feeling. And I really do see, because he's going off in the opposite direction. She's over here looking at her cup in the same direction. So I'm, and then, okay, so bottom of the deck in the shadow, like I was talking about, this is where there would be clear communication. But if you look here, this is where there wasn't. So I feel that they fought a lot about this. They were fighting a lot about this, and I feel like a lot of it was her own insecurities here. And they fought a lot about it, and then she would sort of have to recover from it, and he would take off. So this Six of Swords is somebody taking off, somebody leaving. Usually, you know, that person can come back, but it's really interesting. So I think I'm going to clarify these, because we're asking about his jealousy, about that allegation that he was so controlling, like with her clothing. And he may, you know, this is the guy who, when he is, you know, going to leave or take off, and because maybe he legitimately had to go to work or whatever, you know, it's not really a big deal to him. He's not going to be like overly emotional about it. But he's still very warm-hearted. You know, he's, because it's fire energy, so he still has a warm heart, and he is very expressive. So it's not like, you know, the King of Swords or the Queen of Swords, or even the King of Cups, where there might not be a lot of expression. He's still very expressive. He just may not say it exactly like you want him to say it. He's very blunt, very honest. So this guy is actually very honest, especially with that Ace of Swords at the bottom. This is someone who's very honest, but I'm feeling that there still wasn't clear communication, especially from the Queen of Cups with the Three of Cups sitting there. So let's get some clarifiers, because I really want to just ask one more time about his reported and alleged, you know, jealousy, controlling behavior, like towards her. So I'm going to take the jumper, which was the Four of Wands. So this talks about marriage, parties, celebration, union. Page of Swords. There's that Page of Swords. Okay, so this can indicate that somebody's watching somebody else, keeping their eye on someone else. It's, if the pages are the messengers, so lots of messages, lots of communication, but it may be like little bits of communication, the text messages, all of that, and the Devil there. So this is the obsessive behavior. This is where the energy feels obsessive. Six of Pentacles. Knight of Cups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so Knight of Wands, this is talking about their marriage, right? So I feel like this is happening while they're married, although they weren't married very long. This can also be like a halfway to marriage. So the Page of Swords over the Ace of Cups. Yeah, I mean, I'm feeling like he could have been watching her, keeping an eye on her. But it's interesting because it comes out with the Six of Pentacles, where it feels like this particular behavior, it was on both of their ends. It was equal between the two of them. They just wanted to know what the other one was doing. If you look at their astrology and their synastry, this devil energy is very, very, very prevalent, okay? I believe it's his Uranus that's squaring her Venus, and there's a few other placements that are like, they're powerful. So there's a reason why they came together. Like, it's almost like this feels like you can never ever get rid of this person. You can't get them off of your mind. You think about them all the time. So it is obsessive, and it's also coming out with that Three of Cups. So I feel like it also talks about when they're drinking a lot together, partying a lot together, lots of fights, lots of jealousy around social events. So whereas maybe they were good when they were just together and alone, whenever there were like other people involved, parties involved, even the media, things in the media, whatever it is, this is where the energy became super toxic. So yes, from his end, I am seeing it, that he's almost like a little spy. He could be like that with her sometimes. Maybe it was, you know, just through lots of messages, text messages all the time. Like I said, lots of phone calls. But it looks like for me here, it was equal on her side, because here's the scales come in. So she was also doing it too, you know, and for her, it was more, I want to say, like, here's the emotionality of it. So we saw the Queen of Cups. Now we get the Knight of Cups, where for her, it's more like sweet and romantic, like, oh, baby, I miss you. I love you. I this, I that. And, you know, this is where she may have even done this at night, really when they were apart or whatever, or when she didn't talk to him. This is, you know, crying yourself to sleep at night, not being able to sleep. The Knight of Cups is like, he's sort of like the teenager in love, or the young guy in love. You know, it's all about the romance and poetry, and it's the knight in shining armor, rescue me. It's that energy. Whereas for him, you know, with this Page of Swords, it may have been, you know, just lots of words. Like, it's the way that they communicated with each other. I've said this in another reading, you know, was so different. When you see their communication style, it was so different. But for him, it may have not been as emotional. That's what I'm trying to say. I do feel that it was equal. So regarding that allegation, what the cards are telling me is that they were equally obsessed with one another, because it's sitting in the center. They were equally jealous with one another. So I'm feeling like that was actually a thing, because this is where the Devil came out, and at the bottom of the deck is the Ace of Wands. So there's this this crazy sexual chemistry between the two of them, okay? And the Queen of Pentacles, you cannot make this up, you guys. King and Queen of Pentacles, the perfect match. So regarding, you know, the money and their stubbornness, you know, two sort of stubborn energies. This is Taurus, and I could even say Capricorn here. So their stubbornness, their you know, they were committed. I mean, they really were committed to one another. And, you know, and here we have two people who are very wealthy, very well-to-do. They're very accomplished in the physical world. They enjoy the finer things in life, the luxury, you know, all of that. So we already know that. And this is their insane, insane chemistry. So, all right, let's get deeper into it. So let's look at the allegations of, I mean, it was hard to watch, you guys. It was hard to watch. And like I said, I will reserve my opinions maybe for another reading or later on. And, you know, they'll probably come through a bit as well. I don't claim to be someone who's non-biased. But you know, I'm listening very carefully. I'm using my intuition with all of this. I'm really feeling into it, because I don't want to be someone, you know, who just rushes to judgment, but at the same time, I kind of know what I know. All right, so let's look at some of the harder allegations. And again, you know, this is just a tarot reading, so, you know, never give up your power to a reading or to a reader. Judgment had flipped over, and the Lovers had flipped over, and the Knight of Cups had flipped over too. Very telling. Okay, so let's look at some of the harder allegations when she's talking about the DV and the IPV, the DV and the IPV, okay? And let's get some cards on that. So thank you to the guides. I appreciate your clarity on this. Please tell us about the DV from his side. So we're not even going to look at, if they want to show us her side, fine. But the validity of it, how true was that about the DV and the IPV, which I know the IPV in itself is a very broad topic. So maybe we'll just look at the DV that was more physical. We're getting the Chariot that wanted to pop out. So the DV that was physical, that she was talking about like 14 different offenses against her, that seemed extreme and repeated. So let's look at that. All right, so here we go. We get the Knight of Pentacles. And I'm going to put this up here in the middle here. I'm just going to put it over these. That's fine. And we get the Ten of Cups. Wow. And we get the Lovers. Wow. Which is interesting because it's coming out right over the Devil. And in the Rider-Waite, this is Morgan Greer. In the Rider-Waite, the Devil holds the Lovers captive. So like they would be down here, the two lovers would be down here with the Devil, and they would be in chains. So very, very interesting that that's coming out right in the center there. And we get the Chariot, really big energies. So the Lovers and the Chariot, number 6 into the 7. So we're seeing progression. And we get the Queen of Wands. So he would be the Knight again. And it's interesting because they keep talking about this balance of control. You know, that he had more power than her, more control than her because of status, money, the properties that he owned, all of the people. And so I can see that. But it's weird because here it's like, you know, he's got this Knight energy. So this is the fast-moving Knight, fire energy, Knight of Wands. This is the slow-moving Knight. He's super slow. Knight of Pentacles, Virgo here, you know, earth energy. And I think they both have their Venus in Taurus. So their Venuses in their natal charts were conjunct each other. So their Venuses match each other. And Venus is obviously about love and partnership and all of the things that we enjoy, all the sensual things that we enjoy. So this is looking pretty good to me here. It's showing happiness. It's showing reciprocated love. It's showing love in the physical world. So this would be like a higher love, you know, family. It's the happily ever after. I think that inside of the relationship, it feels that even though he was sort of on the move, on the go, busy man, you know, he's got his very, very well-established career, the music, all the things he produces, that inside of the home, he was actually a pretty like slow kind of guy, liked to take it easy, liked to relax, didn't like to move too fast. And, but also had his, I want to say this is someone who has their routine. He does well with a routine, you know? So it's weird because like the Knight of Wands is like ready for the adventure. He doesn't care, like fly by the seat of his pants. But inside of the home and a marriage, it feels like he really thrives well when there's a routine. And I know I asked the question about the DV, but this is what's coming out. So we'll get some clarifiers again. This is showing where, you know, this is his intention because it came with the Ace of Cups and the Ten of Cups. But I do feel that maybe there was a part of him that was questioning, because the Page of Swords can like want to know things. He, like I said, he's like a little spy. Maybe he was, you know, starting to question if this actually was right for him. I don't know. The Lovers, again, at the center, speaks to more of the physical love. It's like more of a third dimensional love, because this is Adam and Eve, you know, in the garden, and it shows where there's a separation between the two of them. So it's almost where we're actually, in a weird sense, like we're separated from our divinity, and we're here on this physical plane, inside of this physical realm of existence, and this is where we try to experience holy love, like, and it feels like, yes, they were brought together, they were man and wife, but there was this looming energy of darkness. Okay, so that's what I'm seeing from this. And then with the Chariot, and the Six of Pentacles, you know, the Chariot is Cancer energy. It's coming out with the Queen of Cups, so it's traditionally a card of Cancer. So this is Gemini, by the way. The Lovers is the Gemini energy. So this is also, just to go back to the Lovers, this is about healthy choices, healthy partnerships, healthy relationships. And with the Devil here, because we're just going to build on them, we're just going to build on these energies. It's where the relationship can turn toxic, you know, very quickly. So for her, I feel like she really like had this thing about things being fair and things feeling equal and being equal. And the Chariot is a card of force. So it's highly emotional when it's not in balance. And it's also where, like, we are determined, you know, this is where you will get in the Chariot and drive forward at like 100 miles an hour. So you better know how to drive, and you better know where you're going, and you better know what the intention is. Otherwise, you could seriously do some harm to yourself or to other people. You know, you could run someone over, you could smash into a tree. So this is a responsibility, this card. And it feels like she may, I don't know, like this is a force of destruction. And when things weren't equal, this is when there could be an imbalance, because this is like the head and the heart. This is the mind and the heart here, the two Sphinx. So I'm going to get some clarifiers, because it feels like when things were not in balance, that's when the destruction started. This concerns me because, you know, when there's anxiety, worry, stress, sleepless nights, and there's this desire for love, there's this desire for, you know, it's almost like that teenage dream, like about love, then this queen can become angry. So she is the actress, you know, she's the performer. In her higher vibration, she's very generous, warm-hearted, inspired, beautiful. She can light up a room. You know, she's gorgeous. But in her lower vibration, she can become angry, vengeful, dramatic, very, very dramatic. She would tell stories. It's all of that. So let's get some clarifiers for this and see where we go. I'm going to use the Celestial Tarot, and this does have some reversals in it, so we'll see what comes out. And I've already pre-shuffled and cleared all of these decks. Oh, at the bottom of the deck was Temperance, and this is where these two, they have trouble with moderation, because this is a card of divine union. So this is the higher octave of love. They have trouble with divine union. It's in the shadow. They have trouble mixing their two elements. So this would be him, this would be her. They're two different elements. Even if they feel the same, even if they look the same, they're actually different. So this is where you mix and blend them, and then the third element becomes created, and that's alchemy. So these two were doing this alchemical dance. They're, and they trigger each other. This is where the person that you're with, they hold up a mirror to your shadow, and you hold up a mirror to their shadow. So you trigger each other, and you push each other's buttons. And they're there for your soul growth. They're there for the growth of your soul. It's supposed to teach us patience and moderation. I don't think that these are two people who really understood the moderation that well. Although it seems that with JD, this is where, yeah, and even for him, because it was either like go slow or go fast. It was 0 to 60. It's almost like there wasn't an in-between for him. And for her, it's sort of this energy of just like emotional neediness is what I'm seeing, and not really knowing her own self-worth, because that's coming from the 9 of Pentacles that we saw in the beginning, I think. So the Temperance, this was a soul agreement for them. They came together to work on this. And they've really almost destroyed each other in the process, but underneath that was the Star. So there is this element of their higher selves that are here. There's an element of healing and hope. And that's like sort of, this is Sagittarius and Aquarius here. So this is like what's in the shadow. It's perhaps what they didn't see. It's in the subconscious. It's the things that they're not seeing. So that is there. That's a big energy. These are life lessons. And underneath the Star was the 6 of Pentacles, which we already saw, about equal giving and receiving, about balance. So I think that was something that they really struggled with, was feeling like the other was giving as much as they were receiving and vice versa, especially for her, because it came out on her side where she really, I think that she may have had a lot of demands, because the Queen of Wands can be very, very demanding. So this is where it was very hard for the scales to feel balanced inside of this relationship. All right, so, and I know we were asking about the DV, but this is where these readings are not always simple and black and white. Like the Chariot, it's not all black and white. So I know everybody wants answers. They want psychic predictions. I am not a fortune teller. I read energy. So thank you to the angels. Thank you, Spirit. Please help me to clarify these. Let's clarify them one by one. All right, regarding the DV. Okay, so we got the 3 of Pentacles in the reverse. No cooperation there. That's when somebody stops cooperating. And the 4 of Swords. Wow. In the center, we get the Queen of Swords. So yeah, this is where the communication gets very challenging and difficult. This is fixed air. In this deck, it's not mutable air or cardinal air, it's fixed air. So it's very, very much, both of them were in this place of my way or the highway. They're not going to listen to each other, really. They both have their thoughts and beliefs and ideas, and their communication is very, it's very cutting. Obviously, we saw that. It's that sort of like off with their heads energy that's sitting there in the center. 3 of Pentacles in the reverse for him, it speaks to, like, I feel like because it comes out with its Knight of Pentacles, that he stops cooperating, like he stops sort of being a team player for her. So it may look ugly. I don't see a Knight of Pentacles with a 3 of Pentacles in reverse necessarily being violent. I feel like this is where the happily ever after turns into Well, the Four of Swords is a card of like recuperation. So it's like almost like after you've been sick or hurt or betrayed, you go into the Four of Swords and you rest. You hang up the swords, you know, and it's like you sleep, you pray, you meditate, you rest, you recover. And it's in the reverse. So it's showing me that, you know, this is someone who desperately needs some healing and is not getting it. And then we get that Queen of Swords there. And yes, for her, wow, with the Chariot, we get the Two of Cups in the reverse. So this is almost like the reversal of a divine union, the reversal of love. So she's feeling like it's over, but from his perspective, he's just not in a place of like, he's not giving the way that he used to give. He's not being as cooperative as he used to be. He's not playing the game the way that he used to play. Because he's in this place of feeling like crap. He's not happy. And for her, the Two of Cups in the reverse, she's feeling like, oh my God, like this is the whole world is ending. Because when you get a Two of Cups in the upright, you're like, yes, I got the Two of Cups. Like you've got the bear there with you, Ursa Major. It's more Cancerian energy. And I feel like that's Pluto, although I'm not sure. Pluto in Cancer. Any of you watch us and know if that's Pluto there, but this is like the death of love right here. And I think we did see the death card come out for her energy right now. So it's the death of the union. This is very, very upsetting to a Queen of Cups, obviously, who feels like she gave more than she received. I'm just hearing that with these scales. She just wants him to give more, perhaps. It's, you know, it's that energy. She wants to feel something from him. I mean, here it's a card of charity where it's about the money, but it doesn't really always represent that. It's, you know, it's about time and energy and effort, and she feels that he's not putting it in. The Chariot can even represent, you know, the distance that's between the two of them and how quickly that happens. And there we go. It's the reversal of the love. And she gets the Nine of Pentacles again. You guys, what is going on here? These are two cards of like the single gal. We've seen the Nine of Pentacles for her already. So that was in the first kind of question about when she first met him. How did she feel about him? You know, with that Nine of Pentacles. So now we're seeing it again. And this is, I want to say Venus in Virgo. So it's more Virgo energy, more earth energy, Venus in Virgo. And these are two cards of the single gal. So maybe that's how she felt, you know. And I feel that this Queen of Wands was not happy about that, but I'm just not seeing any cards that would indicate, you know, the DV here, especially from him. But we're going to get more. We're just going to keep building on it. So I hope I'm not boring you guys. We'll see if I even post this or not. Bottom of the deck is the Three of Swords in the reverse. And this is the betrayal that I was talking about. So there is like this sort of needing to heal from some kind of betrayals. So let's look at it from Amber's point of view here and the truth. So we're, you know, we're getting to the truth of this. What is the betrayal? What are we not seeing? The Fool with the Ace of Cups. What is that? Why does she, why? So this is the child here, the Fool. It's Uranus. So you can see Uranus is there, the god Uranus, and he's sort of, he's urging the Fool to take a leap, to take a risk, to take a leap of faith. It's where there isn't a lot of wisdom behind this. It's pure instinct. It's like the instinct that animals have, or like that a child has. So it hasn't really like learned any of the lessons. It's starting over. So why is there, I don't know. I'm wondering if this is like, if this is her energy of just like not wanting to start over with someone else, although some of you may think it had to do with someone else. But this is sort of the energy of just like wanting everything to be like it was in their honeymoon phase. Like, not on their honeymoon, but in their honeymoon phase. Like when they first met, she just wants it to be forever in this energy. That's where she feels safe, because we're seeing the bear again. So Ursa Minor and Ursa Major. And when the bears come out, that speaks to protection. You know, it's protection. It's where you feel really, really safe. It's where you feel really protected. So, I don't know. I'm just feeling like this isn't necessarily answering my questions, but it's showing me that she has this very, very childlike mentality around love, that it sort of has to be like this all the time. You know, the Two of Cups, the Ace of Cups. She really wants to feel protected. She really wants to feel loved. She really wants to feel like everything's brand new, almost like every day. It's very interesting. And the Eight of Wands. So this is a card of good luck, and this is a card of good fortune and good news and travel. We see there, that's almost like you've sacrificed something at the altar, okay? And you've made your offerings to spirit. It also reminds me a bit of, what's that? In the Ten Commandments, oh gosh, why am I drawing a blank? The Ark of the Covenant. That's what this reminds me of, the Ark of the Covenant. But anyway, in this case, it's actually the altar. You've progressed spiritually to some degree. You've sacrificed something, so you get forward movement, progress. It's spiritual progress. It's like it's just good luck. It's travel. So it's Mars in Sagittarius, so it goes back to that Knight of Wands, where I almost feel like, I'm just gonna say it, like there's this energy, this worry, this stress that he's just going to leave her. It's crazy, because I feel like we're just back to square one in like the second reading that I did. We're just all about abandonment. And yeah, you guys, bottom of the deck is the Queen of Wands. So there she is again. And she came out as the Queen of Wands in the first reading with the Seven of Cups in reverse. So you might want to go back to the first or the second reading that I did. Maybe you've watched them. This is a queen who is completely delusional. She really makes up stories, because now the Seven of Cups is in the reverse. Even if it was upright, you know, I would still be like, okay, this is someone who, you know, they have a lot of fantasy. They have a very vivid fantasy life. And in some cases, that's amazing. That's where art comes from. That's where creativity comes from. And this came out in her first reading, and you can see it's the serpent here. You see that? It's this constellation, whatever that is like a serpent through the sky. So it's in the reversed. This is absolutely someone who, she has fantastical ideas. She's emotionally dysregulated. She makes up stories. She creates stories in her mind. Wow. That's definitely her. And look, I am not saying that he is an angel or a saint. I think that this man has a lot of work to do, and it takes two. It really, really does. And so this isn't even about who's going to win the case or anything like that, you guys. It's just really trying to make sense of it, because what she was saying on the stand, it really did throw me for a loop, I'll tell you. And I watched several parts of it a few different times, and I really, really, really had to look within myself on this, because I do not want to see anybody who has been a victim of things like that ever not believed. You know what I mean? That would literally go against everything that I believe in my heart, you know, and in my soul. But I don't know, you guys. I don't know. Oh, boy. All right. Tell me, I'm just going to keep asking. The moon in the reverse, Pisces. So yes, there's a lot of darkness around this relationship. There's a lot of secrets. It gets very, very dark at times. So let's look at the moon in the reverse, because that's coming up. I'm going to put it over here and we're going to look at it. So tell me about this moon in the reverse. Tell me Ten of Pentacles. So this is stuff that happens in the house. That's the 10 Pentacles. It happens, you know, inside. It happens in the dark. You see there that that little fetus there, or the, you know, that's growing in the darkness in the womb. So it's stuff that happens in the dark. It's stuff that happens in the home. And the Three of Cups again. So this is absolutely, that's the alcohol energy, you know, that's the substance abuse. It could even be a third party. So that can indicate, you know, third party interference, and that doesn't have to be that you're cheating, you know, someone's cheating, but it's outside influences of third party interference. And we do know that obviously, you know, there were a lot of people around them because of the levels of staff that they both needed. And I think it's funny too, because we're seeing almost like a pirate ship there, right? Okay, so maybe this is talking to us about Australia. So let's get some more cards around that. So regarding his actions, so let's look at his actions towards her in Australia. We get the Hierophant in the reverse. Taurus energy. So this can be tough, you know. It's interesting because the Hierophant is typically shown with a masculine energy, and it is actually, if you look all the way back there, that's where the Hierophant or the High Priest is. And this would be actually the Empress. So like this is a really, really beautiful Hierophant because it speaks to our spiritual path. It speaks to marriage. It speaks to commitment. It speaks to knowledge, spiritual knowledge. It speaks to mentorship, being a leader. But it also speaks to breaking tradition. This is tradition. This is rules. These are vows. These are societal norms. These are things that a civilized society expects from people. You know, this is the 10 Commandments. And the masculine behind the feminine, and here's the bull, and here's the Empress, the feminine, and it's in the reverse. And we led off with the moon in the reverse. And the 10 Pentacles, like I said, I feel like this is stuff inside of the home or inside of a house. And I'm feeling like with the ship here, this is what happened in Australia. And with the Hierophant in reverse, this is where some shit went down. And because again, the Hierophant is like, you know, these are the 10 Commandments. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not, you know, commit adultery. Thou shalt not, you know, put your hands on someone, like whatever. And that's where it's in the reverse. So these things were broken. So let's ask the cards. We get the Prince of Wands in the reverse, and that we already know that was his energy. So here's the Knight of Wands, here's the Prince of Wands, same card, same energy. This time it's in the reverse. So when this guy is in the reverse, yeah, he can be very, very difficult, very difficult. He can be violent because it's the same way I was talking about the Queen of Wands. She can be angry and vengeful, dramatic and violent. And so can he when he's in the reverse. And so here is where he's able to ascend, right? So that would be his higher vibration of his ascension. We see the centaur. So the interesting thing about the centaurs is that they are warriors. They are the warrior, the archetype of the warriors. They're fighters. They were not all love and light. These guys were fighters, and there was only one that became a healer, and that was Chiron. So this is not Chiron. This is Jupiter in Sagittarius, and when it is reversed, this is where someone goes to extremes. So because the Three of Cups is there, it's the substances that went into extreme, and we know that. This is someone I wouldn't want to be around him, you know, so I'm just going to say it, you know, like I said, I'm here to explore the energies. I do feel that, that it's the same thing with her as far as, her temper and how, you know, fantastical she can get. We've already established that she can make up stories, But him coming out as that Prince of Wands in the reverse, like I was saying, here's the stairway to ascension, and this is like where you're descending into hell. You know, it's going way, way, way deep into the shadows. So it's interesting because it's taken a while for these cards to come out. It's taken an hour for us to get to this. So let's get one more card for that. Like I said, I'm not denying that she is not making up a lot of stories, but also I'm also not going to sit here and pretend that he does not have some serious issues as well. Oh, you guys. What to do, what to do. And I know I can, okay, I hear some of you saying, but what about the DV from her towards him? So we'll look at that, because you're right. Okay, and whoa, we get the Devil in the reverse. So like I said, I feel like with that ship there, this is a nod to Australia, and maybe it's just in general, but with these two, I mean, they took it to levels like parts unknown. They really did. It was extremely destructive. It was extremely toxic. And I'm going to tell you, I don't believe all of the stories she was saying. I don't see the proof. And I know, you know, there are a lot of people, and I respect them, who are believing her. So like, why are we going to fight over that? You know, I wouldn't fight with you over that. However, so I'm not even saying that I believe her stories, but I believe that this stuff was so toxic. It was so, especially with both of their issues that they both have. I believe she had PTSD way before she met him, and possibly some personality disorders as well. And he obviously had his substance abuse problems. He was also abused as a child. We know all of this. So with the two of them together, it was oil and water. But at the same time, they hold up a mirror to each other's shadow. They recognize it in each other. They're soul magnets. And it sucks because, you know, we would rather have this energy where you can feel safe to take it all off and be in your highest state of existence, and, you know, and just be vulnerable because you know that you're safe, and where things are balanced and where there is divine love, you know, beautiful, divine counterpart, healing love, you know, but at the same time, I just have to tell you, like, I do really feel that it got very, very ugly for both of them. I don't know that any of us will ever really know if all of those stories are true. I'm not even going to touch on the essay because I just don't think that it's fair. I don't think that it's, I would be breaching my ethical code to look into something like that. It wouldn't be right. So that's not where I go. I'm hoping that I'm providing you with some insight. I know this reading went really long. I had a feeling that it would, because I honestly, I felt very shook from all of this. I wonder, how can a person make up stories like this? And I do feel that she is making up some of these stories. Some of you may feel she's making up all of them. I don't feel she's making up all of them, but I feel there's so much that's made up. And I think to myself, how does a person do that? And I'm a true crime fan, so then I think of people like Jodi Arias and Casey Anthony, and, you know, thank God nobody died here, right? But I still think of the types of things that people do, because I follow true crime and I've had my own experiences throughout my own life. So I also know that, yes, this is part of the human psyche, and this is maybe why we're all so fascinated by this, and also because we all, you know, love Johnny Depp, and, you know, and so that's another thing. So anyway, wow, yikes. Okay, so do we want to look at, yeah, there's that Ten of Cups in the reverse. You know, there it is. And there's plenty of cards here that are in the upright. So I just want to show you, there are cards that are in the upright here. It's not all reversals, but we are seeing a lot of the reversals. So this is, you know, I mean, it's just done. You know, it's just done. So I did want to look at, you know, her energy towards him, because I think it's only fair. I haven't looked at it as far as the DV that was done unto him, where you know, that that Dr. Hughes was saying hers was only reactive, meaning it was only done in a reaction. And I really want to see if that's true, because, you know, because I think it's important and it's fair to look at both sides. So tell me about her actions towards him regarding the DV. This wanted to pop out. I'm not going to take it, but the Five of Cups, it's all about, oh my gosh, loss and grief and disappointment and regret, a lot of regret. All right, angels, thank you. Please help me to understand this. So we got the Three of Wands, and this can talk to strategy, you know, it's planning for the future, it's strategy. There's that Five of Cups. Two of Swords. Confusion, guilt, shame. There's the Six of Pentacles. Wow, this is a big deal for her. This energy of giving, you know, and here you can see it for what it is, right? It's charity, but it's also the scales of balance, because he has so much to give and they have so little. Jeez. Queen of Swords, cold, cutting, emotionally detached, but in her higher vibration, also fair and honest in her highest vibration, her higher vibration, receptive. It's almost like, you know, I'm going to sit here on my throne and you need to come to me, right? You see her hand out? You need to come to me. You want to talk? You need to come to me. I'm going to sit here on my throne. So there is, you know, she has an air about her, if you will. She has airs about her. She can be a bit haughty, in my opinion. The Moon. Lots of secrets, lots of shadow, lots of anxiety. A lot of what she does, it's subconscious, like her behaviors, her attitudes, her behaviors. She's not even aware of it. I've said this from the beginning. She doesn't know who she is. She is absolutely, this is a woman who does not know who she is. She's blind. She walks around the world fairly blind. She carries a big sword though, and she definitely is intelligent, and she knows that she's smart. You know, she knows she's smart. She knows that people will give to her, but she also craves balance. It's interesting. She really, Queen of Swords, it's Libran energy. She craves balance with that Six of Pentacles. There's something that is very broken inside of her. I think I said this in one of the readings. She'll never be satisfied with what she has. I just don't see, unless she does the work. I cancel clear. Like, I cannot claim never, but this is a woman with aspiration, and she hasn't achieved what she wants to achieve. It's always at a distance from her. Always at a distance from her. She feels that way, but she's got aspiration. She's got goals. She's got dreams. She's got desire. It's fire energy. So a lot of it's connected to the creativity, but also the ego and her drive, her ambition. And like I said, there's shadow here. There's anxiety. She's not even aware, like I was saying, of a lot of her attitudes, her behaviors, the things that she does. She doesn't even understand why she does them. But this is, you know, where there is depression, anxiety, fear, the shadow. see what was with that. Yeah, and the King of Cups. So let's get deeper into it, because I want to know how she treated him as far as the allegations she made towards him. If actually it was reversed, you know, because that can happen a lot. And I'm just going to take a sip. Okay. I get so thirsty. Bottom of the deck is the Eight of Swords. So this, you know, she's often in a prison of her own making inside of her mind. You know, she's got a lot of mental instability too. She's often in a prison of her own making. All right, I want to know if she initiated, if she actually was the one, you know, if she inflicted DV onto him. Because I think also that we need to clear up the misconception that if someone has a history of substance abuse, that somehow they can't be victims of something, because oftentimes it makes them a bit more vulnerable. And oftentimes people who do have serious substance abuse issues are perpetrators, and oftentimes they're not at all. So this one wants to stay, so we're going to take it. Ten of Pentacles, so that this goes back to stuff that happens in the house. Justice. If she does, if she did, she thinks he deserves it, that she's right in doing that. Page of Wands. This can talk about cheating. This can talk about flirting with other people, triangulating, you know, that's something that happens a lot. Ace of Wands, yeah. I'm wondering, I'm really wondering, I feel like this may be the energy of sexuality, because, I mean, look at that wand. What does that look like to you? You know, look at his wand. So maybe someone younger. Knight of Swords, brutal. I mean, this can be a very, very brutal energy when it's paired with the Queen of Swords and the Moon. This can be brutal. It's very aggressive. So it's showing that, yes, she was the aggressor in many instances. That's the Knight of Swords, that she was the aggressor. Now, what did that entail, you know? And the Four of Cups, it's so weird. It's like someone could be so angry yet so sad at the same time. That's what I'm seeing there. And then so regretful and all of that. Seven of Swords, King of Swords, Hermit. I really feel like if she did perpetrate things on him, she felt that she was justified. If she spent time with other men or women, she felt justified. She felt completely justified. This can even indicate boredom. So I'm feeling like with a Queen of Wands, you know, she gets the Queen of Wands and the Page of Wands. He gets the Knight of Wands twice. She could get bored easily at the same time, where she needs drama. She needs the drama. It fuels her, you know. Bottom of the deck, you know, thinking that you're going to get away with it. This is the liar, the cheater, the deceiver. With the King of Swords. So this would even be regarding him. And this came up in one of the other readings where, you know, it's someone's literally stealing from you or lying about you or lying on you. Not on you, but you know what I mean? Lying about you, cheating on you, stealing from you, whatever that is, thinking that they're going to get away with it. So if she's the Queen of Swords, then he would be the King of Swords, because we're talking about these counterparts. They're often the divorced couple. They're not necessarily the couple that stays together. They're often the divorced couple because they're emotionally disconnected from one another. and it's very cold, and it's where it turns very cold. But you know, even with them, even when they're fighting or whatever, there's still all this passion, you know, and aggression. And that's even, I don't know, the Page of Wands. Perhaps she fights with him. So this could maybe represent not necessarily someone else. Knight of Swords, she becomes the aggressor because she wants to spark some passion, because she, you know, she just wants to feel the fire with him. I don't know, because then at the same time, you kind of wonder, is she bored with him? Is she even attracted to him? Is she just indifferent about him as far as the sexual energy or whatever? It's confusing with her, because on one hand, it's like, you know, where you see she wants to stay maybe for the security and the potential for prosperity. And you think that there might be love there, you know, but at the same time, I don't know, is she even attracted to him? Always calling him, you know, the names that she calls him, and then he calls her the names back. So, but I don't know. I'm not necessarily seeing, you know, I can see that this is the aggressor. It's just to the extent of what that means. Definitely a lot of lies, though. She's definitely lying about him. It's just to what extent is she lying about him? There's a lot of lies there for sure. So let's get a few more clarifiers, and then I'm going to have to end this because it's so long. So I apologize for the lengthy video, but all right, so let's ask the same question from this deck. Yes, look at that. There's the Justice card again. So some of you are going to watch this and you're going to say, you know what? I don't think that she perpetrated any violence on him. You know, some of you are really going to see it that way. So let's ask again. Let's clarify these. Six of Cups with the Magician. So with her, a lot of it, you know, obviously goes back to childhood. It definitely goes back to her childhood. The Magician can be an energy that's, you know, creating. It wants to manifest. It wants to create wealth, abundance, manifestations. But in this case, I was feeling it. It's also in the lower octave where this is very manipulative. And with the Five of Swords there, that's the manipulation. So I feel like, whoa, I feel like she, it's interesting. I've never felt this with the Justice card before, but it's almost like seeking, it's like a vendetta, not a vendetta, an avenger. It's like avenging her own inner child. Like the trauma that she saw, she has to make that right. And she will do that through manipulation. We saw the Seven of Swords, the lying, the deceiving. And really this is, I mean, this can absolutely be about DV. So if this comes up in a reading for me, like that I'm doing with a client, and let's say the devil energy is around it, I would actually be a bit concerned for my client that maybe they were experiencing some kind of DV in their life or at work, some kind of manipulation. It could be emotional, it could be physical, mental, all of that. And I'm just feeling like this is, you know, because the 10 Pentacles, it's clarifying that this is about the home life. This is about foundations, right? Inside of her family home as a child. It's almost like avenging that. She, you know, it goes back to this very wounded inner child that is seeking justice. Because I told you with that Moon card, she's not even fully aware of these things. It's in deep, deep in her subconscious. It's in her shadow. And that's why a lot of therapists, they don't even necessarily see these things. That's why personality disorders go undiagnosed for so many people, you know, because they're hard to diagnose, because whatever. But with this Five of Swords, it's not good. You know, it's not a good energy at all. This is someone who will really manipulate a situation. So, I mean, it's definitely possible with that Knight of Swords and the Five of Swords, because a lot of times in this card, you will see bloodshed in the background. You see that in this card. Most of the time, you don't even see blood in the Ten of Swords, because a lot of that can actually be self-inflicted. By the time we get to this 10 swords, yes, it can be someone betrayed you. But in a lot of cases, the 10 swords are self-inflicted. The 5 swords, like in Rider-Waite and so many other decks, you see bloodshed, okay, for a reason. Because this is probably my least favorite card in the whole tarot. If there were one card that I could just like remove, it would be the 5 of Swords. It's very unfriendly. It's not cool. It's very uncool. So it's there. It's possible, you guys. I don't even know why I'm still pulling cards for you. I feel like I should just end it here. Yeah, I should just end it here. So I don't know how this was. You know, I'll upload it, and maybe I'll try to do an abridged version of this. It's been a busy week for me. I've been really, really busy. So I actually did like 3 readings today for clients and 3 the other day. So I feel like I probably need a break just to get a good night's sleep. I'll probably watch this in the morning and then decide if I'm going to upload it. And I probably will. I mean, it would be silly not to upload it. I just went 1 hour and 21 minutes, which is crazy. So anyway, you guys, I'll try to do a shortened version of this for you tomorrow on Saturday. Please take good care, drink your water, get your rest, get your sunshine, and I will see you all soon. Take good care. Namaste.